We're live again in the Franchise Expo Austin podcast zone, chatting now with Rafael Alvarez. He's the CEO and founder of the Latino Franchise Association. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Jack. I've been dreaming to be in your podcast for many years. I remember when you had Sebastian, our friend from Canada. That was a fun one. Right?
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad we could make the time today here at Franchise Expo Austin. You've been a busy guy. You've had a couple of sessions here with the LFA. Yeah. Tell us about those sessions.
We were busy, very busy. We had two sessions yesterday and two sessions today. Yesterday, the two sessions was about talking about the progress of Latinos in the franchising industry, to be able to, showcase, where are we at right now, where we have been in terms of the numbers, where are we at right now, and where we're heading in the future in terms of getting more Latino, involved and invested in the franchising industry. Then right after that, we had another panel about Latino franchisors and Latina franchisors, people that already have done it, that already established successful franchise brands, and wanted to, showcase their success and perhaps inspire other Latino to invest in franchising. And then today we brought El Zar de la Franquicia from Mexico. We had one panel in Spanish, a presentation in Spanish. He was talking about La Franquicia de tu vida, meaning the franchise, your ideal franchise, in a way, and he was talking about how important it was for people to select their ideal franchise venture. It's like finding a girlfriend that eventually you're gonna marry.
Right.
You know how that.
You got to find the right partner for that lifelong partnership.
And I just finished a presentation about how to help franchisees and franchisors to find money to develop, to invest in their franchise venture.
Let's talk a little bit more about that, because I think that's probably the biggest challenge for most small business owners right now, is getting that funding source, as prices are definitely not going down, right? What types of things did you talk about in the presentation today, and what advice do you have for people who are trying to find that funding right now?
Well, we were lucky to have a great panelists from like Gregory Uwe from We Franchise. We have Brian Robinson, Brian from American Family Care.
Yeah.
He was also panelist there. And we also had a representative from Paylocity, which is a payroll and HR company. And we had interaction from a lot of the audience, some of them franchisors that already went through it. But we were recommending, obviously there are two different distinctions in terms of franchisees that are looking money to buy a franchise, and franchisors that are trying to now register the successful business model, and then run it, manage it, and take it to be successful. Two totally different ball game. So we recommended some of the companies that provide financial capital, not traditional, banks, but we mentioned a few of those companies that they are focusing on helping or investing on people that are investing in the franchising industry. That's their expertise, that's their sweet spot, and they feel comfortable investing and lending as long as they know, obviously, the brand.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the franchisees going to them. They need to validate their brands to make sure that it's a solid brand that has traction. Obviously, they look at the FDD and look at how many locations they open up, how many locations they close, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. What are some of the other challenges that people may be experiencing right now that the Latino Franchise Association might be able to help people with?
Well, obviously, the goal of the Latino Franchise Association and the mission is to promote the franchising business model within the franchising industry, connect the community, the Latino community, with the franchising ecosystem, the way I call it, franchisors, franchisee suppliers. And obviously, there is a tremendous challenge for Latinos, because I hate to say it, but the majority of Latinos that apply for a loan to a traditional lender, they get denied. Those are the facts.
Right.
Just go to the Small Business Administration. They have the data. So sometimes you have to be creative, and you have to really find funding through family members and friends, and find a way how to really capitalize your ventures. But The Latino Franchise Association, we are working, first of all, we're a legitimate non-for-profit organization as a 501c6, a trade organization. We are collaborating and working with a few financial institutions that are helping us to create what is called a community financial institution. Those are entities that financial institutions use to place the money. So the institution will do the lending to the small business owners. So they have like a cushion. So if something goes wrong with the loan, it doesn't have a negative mark on the bank or financial institution. It's a responsibility of the non-for-profit to pay that money back to the financial institution. So there are a lot of vehicles. Two things Latinos are not really getting into franchising. Obviously financial, number one, capital, and number two is education. And we're finding solutions to both, we're addressing those two issues. We are creating an educational platform to educate Latinos about franchising, both in English and Spanish, doing seminars, webinars, a lot of different educational activities so they can get educated. And also the component that we just mentioned is the financial, which is key.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before this podcast about the power of the economy of the Latino community, and you had some numbers on just what the size is, and it's really immense, and it's not yet a big part of franchising.
That's the challenge, and it's really interesting for me to know that a lot of people in the industry have no idea about these numbers. I mean, they all see the Latino community and they think, oh, they don't have the capital, they don't have money, they are all of the above. But when you look at the numbers, and these are data provided to us by a Stanford University research program. I went to Stanford, and they have a program there that every year they release a report called the Status of Latino Entrepreneurship. Every March, the president of Stanford had that pleasure, and they take all the credit, But also, there are some organizations that they do focus on doing the research, and provide those numbers. Right now, we have 65 million Latinos in the United States, legitimate, not the undocumented one.
Right.
Generating $3.6 trillion. That's a lot of money. That's GDP, gross domestic product.
Right, and that will be $2 trillion in no time.
That's correct. I mean, and if you look at the projections, in the next 20, 30 years, the Latino populations are going to go from 65 million to 120 million. And right now we have over 5 million registered businesses owned by Latinos in the United States, based on the Small Business Administration, SBA's numbers. And all of that power, by the way, if we will be a country, the Latinos in the U.S. will be a country, we will be the 5th global economy.
Wow.
The United States first, China second, Japan third, Germany fourth, and then the U.S. Latino.
Wow.
So imagine the power. I mean, the GDP that we're generating more income in the United States than countries like
bigger than Russia. Bigger than France.
Bigger than France, Korea, all of those big nations, India. But the key, as you mentioned, is that all of that power hasn't been able to be translated into the franchising industry. As you know, this industry, fed by leads, by potential franchise buyers, and part of the goal and the mission of the Latino Franchise Association is to promote the franchising business model within the Latino, so Latino can see how great, how fantastic it is the franchising business model and the opportunity that can provide to Latinos in terms of growth, etc., etc. So we are doing everything possible, promoting the brand, so more Latino can come in to an event like this, to connect with a lot of the franchise brands, to understand the value proposition of franchising all of these brands, so they can invest, so they can buy franchise locations, so they can convert perhaps their successful businesses. Imagine 5 million registered businesses in the U.S. Imagine if 5%, 1% of those businesses
started
become
franchising.
It would be an amazing growth in the franchising industry. I see, believe it or not, Jack, I see a great future in franchising as long as we can really do the work to bring all of that Latino community into the franchising industry.
Yeah, and even before franchising some of those businesses, all of the franchise development people that we talk to every day and that are here with us in Austin, they're all looking for new candidates and people for whom they've got a good opportunity. And it feels like sometimes the Latino community is just sort of forgotten about by business development folks. So it's like, there's your solution right there.
Right there.
Is find somebody in that group of 60 million plus people who could be a great franchise partner.
And I'm only mentioning the one in the U.S.
Yeah.
That if you look at the whole Latin America, there are a lot of successful businesses with 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 locations. As a matter of fact, I just met a group out of Chile. They have 8 brands in Chile with 320 locations. Now they're coming to the United States. So imagine the tremendous opportunities that are in Latin America. Brands are running that want to come to the United States and establish a footprint here in the U.S.
Right.
So
are we seeing more of that with brands
yeah.
from Latin America, from Central and South America coming here? And I would assume it's a lot of food brands, right? Is that right?
That is correct. That is correct. A lot of them are food brands. That company that I mentioned, yeah, they have 8 brands related to food. And the reality is that they, believe it or not, a lot of these companies in Latin America, for the first time, they see the Latino Franchise Association as a bridge for them to come to the United States, be able to have, a helping hand that can really walk them through the process, then see, hey, it's doable. At the same time, the other, like in Mexico, by the way, out of the 65 million Latinos in the U.S., you should know that 50 million are Mexican American. The remaining 15 are all of the other Latinos, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, the Ecuadorian, Colombians, etc., Dominicans. So the reality is that some of them, like in Mexico, a lot of them now, they can identify Latino like me. I was able to build a successful franchise brand from ground zero all the way up to take it, to the promised land. Now they can relate to that and they can see that it's doable. So it is easy for them now to make the decision of coming to the U.S. and invest, establish a franchise, invest money developing it, hiring a lot of people to run it and help managing it. All of this is good for the country. I feel that we, as Latino in the United States, we're going to be making a significant contribution to the U.S. economy in the near future.
Yeah, and contribution is the right word, because imagine more and more businesses coming here to bring their franchise to the United States. That's a lot of money coming into the country.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. We all know that we all franchise, from the whole franchising industry, franchise consultants, franchise brokers, even event like this, expo like this one, and everybody else, even IFA, will benefit of all of these that we're doing, because at the end of the day, all of these brands, they're going to be attending these expos. They'll be attending all the franchise activities and events that the International Franchise Association is hosting. And they're going to be part of the ecosystem that we have. It's a fantastic ecosystem.
And bringing their money with them.
And bringing the money. Bringing the money.
That's what we really like to see, right?
Of course.
Very good. Well, as far as helping to push that cause along and continue the education, if someone would like to get involved in the Latino Franchise Association, where can we send them? Is there a website? Should they connect with you on LinkedIn or other places? Where do you want to have that conversation?
Well, they can visit the official website of the Latino Franchise Association. It's latinofranchise.org, latinofranchise.org, or they can find me in LinkedIn, Rafael Alvarez, CFE. As you know, I'm a certified franchise executive from the FEA. And yeah, Rafael Alvarez LinkedIn, CFE, and they can find me there, and I'll be more than happy to engage in the conversation. There are a lot of great opportunities. We created a platform to be able to connect, like I said, franchisors, franchisees. We have a directory of franchise brands in our portal to promote those brands that become a member. We also promoting franchisees and suppliers. As you know, there are a lot of
suppliers too.
Suppliers too, to be able to connect. I mean, obviously, a lot of attorneys has been contacting us.
Sure.
Some of them now pushing. They want to do those E2 visa, whatever, because they see that we are connecting with a lot of people from Latin America. A lot of franchise consultants also are connecting with us, and different providers, services providers, printing shops. Some of them, you see them here. But also, I want to thank all the brands that has been supporting the Latino Franchise Association, those that became members, from the beginning. And some of them. I mean, in the supply side, I have as a member, iFranchising. You know them. In the franchisor side, I have IHOP, company like IHOP,
wow.
Burger
Good.
King, and
brands.
other brands that has become members and really supporting us.
All right, very good. Well, if anyone would like to become a member or just get some more information, please reach out to Rafael. And my friend, I look forward to seeing you very soon at another franchise event.
Oh, definitely. You'll see me. You'll see me in the next one. You know that I'll be there for sure.
All right.
I want to give a shout out and thank Martin Josimovic. That's, I think,
Yes.
his name. He's the president of MFB Expulsion, because he kind of opened the doors for the Latino community to have a place. He created a Latino Franchise Association pavilion. We have a pavilion here. We did the same thing at the Florida, Expo, and now we are bringing a lot of Latino brands to, exhibit at the Expo, and also he allowed us we have a conference called El Progreso, the Progress of Latinos in Franchising, and that's all of those presentations that we talked about earlier are coming, all about. We really have a great, content that is appealing to Latino, and perhaps many of them came to this expo because
you guys were here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it benefits everyone. So I'm glad MFV was involved in that, and look forward to seeing you at another franchise event very soon.
Definitely. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you.